Any questions? And Todd, how are you? You know, I will tell you also that because of confidentiality problems, and I don't have a lawyer standing behind me, some of my responses might be, I can't tell you. Like
Okay,
good politician.
I can certainly accept that. You're talking about how the hospital might be losing money and concerns for that. Well, I talked with a woman that shared a story with me about her stay at Henry Mayo. She had broken her leg, and she was in there, I think, for a couple weeks, and she'd had a couple operations. And apparently, after she was there, her final medical bill was somewhere in the neighborhood of about $60,000. Well, needless to say, this woman had plenty of time on her hands, so she went ahead and she carefully reviewed her medical bill. In so doing, she found that during one of the operations, apparently they had billed her for enough anesthesia to kill a horse. Apparently they were billing, you know, way overbilling her and all kinds of things. So she went to the hospital, challenged that, and I guess someone must have got scared because her medical bill went from $60,000 down to some $600 and something like that. And I'm wondering if you've seen that kind of corruption, you know, in your stay there. Where
I think, unfortunately, that happens at almost every hospital. We've heard stories rampantly all over the United States about how people overbill. And it does say to you, if you are admitted as a patient and you come out, or a loved one comes out, that you need to take a look at the bill, at the statement. There are companies around that actually will do that for you for a fee, but it's so rampant out there that you know, people are charging money to help you with it. So personally, at Henry Mayo, I have not seen intentional mistakes of billing. Things like this do happen, but I have never seen anybody say, let's mark things up to rip somebody off. Never seen that.
Sir?
Yes.
You've been at Henry Mayo for over 23 years. You must know Dr. Coco?
Yes.
Can you explain to us, or is it too personal, why he was removed from the staff?
He was suspended from the staff. There's contention on the use of suspension being the right word. But I am not right now free to say exactly what happened. But I feel that I'll be 60 in a few weeks, and you know, I hope to practice, you know, for as long as I can. John Coco is 73 years old, and you know, I think a decision was made for him when he's going to retire, and it's not a time where he wanted to retire.
I know he's a very candid and very upfront person,
Yeah.
very honest person.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi, Dr. Dorio. It's Jim Holt from the Signal newspaper. Congratulations, you were elected to the MEC. Congratulations. How did that come about? If you could explain the process on how you got elected, you know, who voted, how you got there.
There's a panel that is put out there for people to be elected. Votes, nominations can come from the floor, and I was nominated not from the floor. I was on a slate of other doctors, including my friend Dr. Terrazino, and we actually put out, we actually campaigned for our position, he and I, because we were the new people on the block. But the vote was, I can't remember the date, but it was in December. And the people who vote are the active members of the medical staff. There are 387 or so members, but there are only 87 or so active members, and those are the ones who can vote. So I had someone who was running against me. There were two of us. I think for almost every position there were two people running, and the people who were up there, other than Dr. Chatham, there was another person elected as secretary, but now he's not on the staff. So I was elected to start on January 1st as treasurer.
One last question. Can I ask 3 quick ones? I'm sorry. They're fast. They're fast. Gene, there was a little bit of a conflict in information. The no confidence vote, it sounded like you're saying that all of the doctors but one voted no confidence, but
Correct.
but the information that I think I saw in the paper or somewhere said that it was actually just a few doctors, and I don't even remember where that I saw that, but
At that particular meeting, when we had the meeting, it was a quarterly staff meeting, so people come to the meeting, and everybody was allowed to vote in that meeting, and only one doctor voted against it at that meeting.
okay. Also, Sentinel events, I assume you didn't really nail this down, but if there's Sentinel events, it sounds like that would be a concern the medical staff would want addressed. If you're not getting a response from the board, then why isn't that brought to the public?
No, and as I said, David,
Oh, I'm sorry if I missed it.
we have. And that's one of the good parts about what has been going on, because I think that when the members of the MEC, before I got on in December, flew to Chicago and said, this board and this administration is not hearing us, one of the things that occurred after that, when I did get on the board, was that they started to address these Sentinel events. I mean, it got into the West Ranch Beacon. So, and as you know, that's not good when it gets out that way, when something is going wrong and the doctors didn't even know about it. So that correction it's in the process of taking place, and as laws are and bylaws are, takes a while to put everything into place, but that is happening now. And of course, it was of extreme concern to the medical staff and the MEC to nail this down and make sure the public was protected.
Okay, and then last one, and this should be real quick. You mentioned the patient tower was addressed at a recent meeting. This is an issue that's near and dear to my heart because I've wondered if that's ever really going to be constructed. Did they give an actual date when that's going to be constructed?
No. Not that I heard. They had a makeup of the tower, and we were all asking about what the dimensions were, what it would contain, what how many operating rooms, how we would get our patients in and out, whether they would be monitored. It really was just a mock-up little thing that we were able to ask questions about. So they never gave an actual date, but I asked them how much is it going to cost, because I really wanted to know, to make it a green building, to make it a LEEDs building, to make it where it's environmentally safe. Holy Cross is supposedly a LEEDs building. I think most of the buildings now that are going to be built in even Santa Clarita will be LEEDs buildings. And I think our hospital, if they're going to build a hospital tower, make it a LEEDs building. And as you all know, LEEDs will also mean more money. And if indeed it costs more money, and I was trying to get that, how much is, without being a LEEDs building, how much is it going to be if it's a LEEDs building? And if indeed it's going to be a LEEDs building, which I would want, then that means we all have to get into gear, make the hospital look better, not face a bankruptcy, and be able to make sure this community gets that tower, but gets it as a LEEDs tower.
Al and Doctor, law enforcement has told me I must give this person one chance. Really? Yeah. Did you have a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead, ask a question.
What I don't understand is when you're talking about LEEDs building and we're talking about new construction, would it be to the credit of the hospital to make that emphatic that they follow those regulations and they can get all kind of tax credits in the meantime too?
Sure, Minerva, I would want it. I mean, I would want, they still don't recycle. They have some recycling, they have the barrels out there, and probably about 2 years ago, I said, you're not recycling at all. And now you see the barrels out there for recycling. I'm really happy about that. But when you go into the kitchen, nothing is recycled yet. And I don't know what's up with that. They have a new group of people who have come in to take care of the cafeteria, and I'm going to talk with them and say, you got to recycle. So just that problem alone has been trying to pull teeth. So getting a LEEDs building is just a whole nother problem.
Aren't you jeopardizing your employment by coming forward like you are now? So what is it that we can do to help you?
Well, I'm not employed by the hospital. I take my patients to the hospital. be supportive, be critical, look at all these things. Listen, this is my opinion. This is what I think, based on what I think is fact. But you know, you have to start seeking those opinions, and you really do have to demand that the board of directors turn around. And you know, I know a lot of the members of the board. I think they're good, considerate, honest people, but I don't know why they're not turning around and saying, yeah, this seems a little fishy. What is going on? Why are they taking off the deputy chief of staff? Why are they decreasing the amount of money that the treasurer can get? Why are they doing these things? I mean, you really have to explore and look at those, and there are some critical minds on that board, and I'm hoping that as a community we will look at the board and say, hey, start asking questions. It just doesn't seem to have happened.
Let's give
Thank you, Al. Appreciate it.